Many components of the viscerocranium and the skeleton of the neck are derived from the mesenchyme of pharyngeal arches. So let's explain which components are these. From the mesenchyme of the first pharyngeal arch, and I will use different colors for this, the following components develop. It's the Meccals cartilage, the Meccals cartilage is a piece of cartilage that forms the axis of the embryonic mandible, but later on it's destroyed and the final mandible ossifies in a dishomogeneous way around the cartilage. So it's the Meccals cartilage. Then it's the sphenomandibular ligament and two of the three auditory ossicles, the malleus and the incus. Moreover, the first pharyngeal arch also gives rise to the maxilla, premaxilla, palatal bones, and zygomatic bones. So this will be the first pharyngeal arch in red, and except for the Meccals cartilage, there is the sphenomandibular ligament and the malleus and incus of the middle ear cavity, and also the premaxilla or the incisive bone, which is the same, the upper jaw, the palatal shelves of the maxilla forming the hard palate, the zygomatic bone, etc. The second pharyngeal arch, I will use blue color for that, gives rise to the upper part of the body of the hyoid and to the lesser horns. Yeah, the greater horns. Also to the stylohyoid ligament, to the styloid process, and to the third of the auditory ossicles, namely the stapes. So this is what is derived from the mesenchyme of the second pharyngeal arch. The first with the second pharyngeal arch, and it's the lesser horns the upper part of the body of the hyoid, not the lower part, and the stylohyoid ligament, and the styloid process. The third arch gives rise to the lower part of the body of the hyoid bone and to the greater horns. So this is the third pharyngeal arch mesenchyma, and we got the greater horns. And the lower part of the body of the hyoid. The fourth arch, the mesenchyma of the fourth arch, produces the thyroid cartilage, so here will be the fourth pharyngeal arch in purple. Forming the thyroid cartilage. And the sixth pharyngeal arch mostly forms the cricoid cartilage. Let's use green for that. So it would be the sixth pharyngeal arch, and it's the cricoid cartilage plus some minor pieces of cartilage of the larynx. Like the arytenoid cartilage, for example. When speaking about the development of the head, we should not omit also the nerves of the pharyngeal arches. Because these are important structures appearing in the developing head. It is a stomodium, the first arch, the second arch, the third, the fourth, and the sixth. The heart. Let's relate it to the developing brain. Here will be the brain vesicles. The eye. So the first arch, second arch, third, the fourth, and the sixth. For the first arch, it's the trigeminal nerve. Here's the trigeminal ganglion with its three branches: the ophthalmic nerve, the maxillary nerve, and the mandibular nerve. So it's the trigeminal ganglion and the trigeminal nerve, which is the fifth cranial nerve for the first arch. The second arch and all the structures that are derived from the second arch, like muscles, for example, are being supplied by the seventh cranial nerve, so the facial nerve. The nerve supplying the third arch it's the glossopharyngeus, is the glossopharyngeal nerve. the ninth, cranial nerve. And the vagus is the nerve supplying the structures of the fourth and the sixth arch. So this will be the branches of the trigeminal nerve is the ophthalmic, the first branch, then it's the maxillary, there's a second branch, and the third is the mandibular nerve. For a complete summary of all the structures that are derived from the material of the pharyngeal arches, right? Please see this scheme or this table that links the arches with the nerves, with the arteries as derivatives of aortic arches that run through these pharyngeal arches, the muscles that develop from the mesenchyma of these arches, and also the skeletal components that we already mostly have on our scheme. So please check this table for reference.